everybody, welcome back to Rain and Pours. I'm Mitch and today I am doing another Dutch pour. I'm really loving this technique and loving delving into and figuring out how it all works. I've had some lovely guidance by watching the videos from Kanella Ciraco. I'm using the recipe from video number 345 for the Australian Floetrol for this one, but I have modified it a little bit so I don't get as many crazy cells. So what I have mixed up here, I'll tell you the colours and then I'll tell you how I've mixed them up. So I have This Little Piggy Flamingle, Crescendo and Unicorn. These are the three new release colours. They'll be released on March 31st. I also have Pinwheel and Supernova. And then I have Matisse Dioxazine Purple mixed into just pouring medium. And then I have a black base. So I'm using a black base this time. Oh, and I have some white mixed up as well. So let me just show you a dried artwork that I'm so super proud of. This is one that I did the other day and I'm very happy with it. This is the best Dutch pour I've ever done and so many people have said they love it. Now look at those new piggies in there. I didn't use any green in this pour. I just used the three newbies, so Crescendo, Flamingle and Unicorn, and the color shift that this gives is unbelievable. So we've got pink to green, pale blue to deep blue. This deep blue up in the corner, that is all Unicorn. And the purple down here, the pinky purple, that is all Crescendo. Goes from a pale pastel purple to a deep purple. Really happy with that artwork. I'm going to put that aside before I dirty it in some way, shape or form, like I know I'm guaranteed to do. And so I'm going to use those three colors here, but I'm also using Pinwheel and Supernova because they have a blue color shift. Which will be really interesting with all of these. I'm using Dioxazine Purple as a bit of contrast, and I have a new hairdryer, so we're going to try this out and see how this goes. If you don't know already, I am lucky enough to be hosting my very own Dutch pour workshop classes here in Penrith in Australia. It's already almost sold out. There's only 10 per class, but I've already sold 6 tickets and there's only 4 left. And if this one does sell out, I will be hosting more. So if you miss out this time, don't stress. You can always join another one. The first one we're doing will be making a fiery Dutch pour, which I'll flash up on the screen if I remember to do so. And I'll also provide the link down in the description below to where you can book tickets if you're in the area. Now, I also said that I have white. I'm going to be putting a little bit of white down before I put my pigments down so that it gives us some contrast against the black. Okay, I also bought myself a nice large spatula like Kanella's. It's the exact same one Kanella uses. So we're going to see how that goes in spreading these out. My canvas is leveled. I have not sprayed the back of it, which I should probably do. I have taped it up. So the reason you wet the back of the canvas is so that it tightens up and you don't have any sag in the middle. And that just means that your paints are going to flow nicely. They're not going to pool in the center, although with a Dutch pour you don't have all that much paint on there to start with, so sagging shouldn't be too much of an issue, but doesn't hurt to do it with canvas. With wood you don't have that problem. Now I am very lucky that my table is already leveled, but I will be drying this on my drying rack, in which case I have already moved this over to the table. Sorry, I dried on my drying table and I've already put the bowls down and leveled those out. Right, we're going to get straight into it. Let's lay down our black base. I'm just trying to keep my spatula off the bench because my bench is filthy. Now, the recipe for this, all of my paints are mixed similarly. They're not exactly the same because for pigments, I've mixed them slightly different. So for my base paint, I have got a ratio of 2:1 Floetrol to paint mixture. When I say paint mixture, so this is Australian Floetrol, which I have 300 milliliters of. And then in my paint mixture, I have 300 grams of Floetrol. I weighed everything out. And then I have 100 grams of Lamp Black by Montmartre tube paint. And then I have 50 grams of Liquitex Gloss Medium. The reason I used the Gloss Medium in this, and this is the difference with Kanella's, in that video, the reason I used the gloss medium was so that it stops all of the crazy Australian floetrol cells from forming. So while we love Australian floetrol for creating those cells in blooms, we don't necessarily want all of them in a Dutch pour. And I just had the thought to add it because I was adding it to my pigments, and I noticed when I did my first experiment with the pigments didn't sell up as much. So I deduced that, you know, adding that pouring medium must have helped. Now I must say I do like working on a black base because it covers everything much nicer. And I think the issues I was having with my early examples of Dutch pours was that, one, I wasn't laying enough paint on, and two, I had the wrong ratios of paints. So I'm gonna stick this to the side. Clean that up later. And just make sure all my sides are covered. This is a 12 by 24 inch canvas. The ones you'll be creating in my classes are 15 by 30 inches, so they are quite a sizable canvas. Just gonna lay some more paint on there, and I'm going to flip it around so I can see the other side. Now the really cool thing with Australian floetrol is you can see the cells already forming on the surface here. And I missed a little bit down here. Just letting that all flow off. Now I did mix up enough for a 15 by 30, so I should have plenty of black paint left to play around with. So this is looking pretty good. Just going to tilt gently to sort of level everything. You could also shake your canvas as long as your paints are thin enough. Shaking it slightly will level everything out. Fun tip. Now we're going to lay our colours on. The way that I want to do this is I'm going to put a strip of white all the way from corner to corner. That is going to be the foundation for our colours. So I don't quite go corner to corner. I'm going just a little on an angle. And not too much paint this time, because the rest of our colours are going to give that shimmer and sparkle. So let's go with some Crescendo down here. And then I'm going to put Flamingle in the centre. I don't know why I always do Flamingle in the centre. I prefer Unicorn in the centre, but Unicorn at the top. And now something I've learned is don't put colour all the way at the edges because you're going to blow that off anyway. Something I learned and something I ignored. It does help to start pouring the paint off the canvas as well, so you don't end up with big blobs. Just a little bit of the Diox purple. Then I'm going to put TLP pinwheel in a thin line all the way down, and then Supernova the same, thin line all the way down. Because I want those three new piggies to shine. Now I'm going to shift everything down one. We're going to do a little bit of Flamingle down here, a little bit of Unicorn in the center, and a little bit of Crescendo, and I dropped a little bit of my black base paint into Crescendo, but it's fine. Crescendo over the Unicorn. Okay, this is what we look like. Let's give it a torch, and I did get a lovely new torch, so let's give this a go. So we're just torching out the bubbles, and we're not going too close to the surface. And this is my shiny new hairdryer that I got from Kmart. This is just a $27 Ionic hairdryer. We're going to see how this goes and how this blows. This has a much thinner nozzle than my previous hairdryer, which was like this. Actually, I've got the nozzle here. So you can see it's much thinner. So we're going to see how that does blowing these paints out. All right, low setting, low speed. I'm going to blow outwards first. Then towards me. I don't like it. This has a split in the nozzle. Okay, that's a problem. This has a split in the nozzle here, and it's directing the airflow either side, but let's go with it. This wants to go up here, so let's blow it up here. Okay, I am not happy with this part down here, so I'm going to scrape, reapply the paint and go again. I don't like the hairdryer. Well, I don't like the nozzle in particular. So let me see if I can modify this a little bit. The hairdryer itself is fine. It's got enough power and it did a great job, but the nozzle was not fine. So what I've done, just had two little deflectors in the middle here. I've just cut those out with my craft knife. Ooh, everything is really pretty up here. Loving this, not loving down here. I'm gonna blow this bit out. Perfect. Let's just fix up this tiny little blip there. Cool. And I'm going to scrape this part, because I do not like it. Okay, that's what happens sometimes. Just have to scrape it and start again. That's why it's always good to have extra paint. Going to put a little bit more paint down and spread that out. It's kind of cool if that stays iridescent, that's fine. So what colors did I do down here? We did the white first. Then I think we had Crescendo. And then a little bit of Flamingle. I'm going to put a little bit of Unicorn here as well. The Diox Purple. Tiny bit of Unicorn. Tiny bit of Supernova. And a little bit of Pinwheel. Let's see how this one goes. So I'm going to blow down this way first. Nice, but this looks weird. There's no color under there. Okay, let's do some mouth blowing this time. And some color here, and we'll not use the hairdryer this time. That's kind of cool. All right. I don't mind that, how it sort of goes off into color and then fades into black down here. I think that's actually really cool. Oh, the colors shifting in this is amazing. All right, we're going to torch lightly. Let's get some cells. So I have a feeling that the black that I used for the base is doing the same thing that happened on a previous pour that I did. And it is too heavy on the Australian Floetrol, so I need to add some more Liquitex pouring medium to this, or I need to change up the black. The central part is fine, but where the lacing is, it's eating up all the colours. But it's really cool though. Like, it's really awesome. I don't know how much of that you saw on the detail camera, but it looks pretty damn cool. All right, let's set this aside and see how this dries. How much paint do I have left? I've got a little bit of black paint left. So let's see if I have another canvas that I can use. Oh, the color shift is crazy on these. I have to wait until this is dry to show you all of those beautiful colors changing. But for now, let me find a smaller canvas. This one will do. Right. I won't tape this one up or anything. We'll just roll with it. Now let me see if putting in a little bit more of the Liquitex pouring medium is going to help with those cells. So I'm going to just drizzle in a little bit and let's see how it affects the cell formation in our paints. Now the Liquitex gloss medium isn't too thick, so this should blend nicely with our base paint already. Just making sure that the consistency is the same. Hasn't changed all that much. So now let's cover our base. I didn't wet the back of this one, and I can tell that's going to be a problem because I can see that the canvas has sunk in the middle. Oh well, let's roll with it. Kanella, I love this spatula. If you're watching, it's definitely a game changer. It just moves so much paint so quickly. Love it. And I'm not going to waste any of this paint on the table. I'm going to pick some of that up and just use it to coat my sides. These are all just practice pieces, so they don't have to look perfect, but I do like when they work out. And I can use them as examples in my classes as well, to show what to do and what not to do, and I get to show you guys the learning process. So certain paints also just don't work in certain techniques. So it could be that the Montmartre Titanium White was a lucky score and it does work for Dutch pours and in that ratio. And it might just be that this lamp black isn't compatible. I do know that Kanella always says to use Amsterdam paints because they work the best. They just seem to be the best brand of paint for everything. They work the best in blooms, in Dutch pours. So maybe next time. I've already got a bottle of Amsterdam Titanium White coming in the mail. I have a big 1 litre fatty bottle of that. So that should keep me chugging along with Dutch pours for a little while. And I'm just leveling out the base paint. Cool. Right, now let's do the same colour combo. And I realised I'm not on my second camera. So I am recording details on this one. Nice close-up shot for you. A little bit better, a little bit closer. The back of this one's going to be really messy, but I don't care. Okay, and it's going to be easier to actually move the entire camera over. That's better. Okay, let's lay down some colours and then we'll torch out the bubbles. So our white, that's a lot of white. Oof. Keep dripping black into Crescendo. Why? And you know what? Let's just lay these all on this time. Crescendo, Flamingle. Let's do the dioxazine purple. Unicorn. Supernova. And Pinwheel. Now I have a lot of splattering up here, which I'm just going to dab into the background. It's probably going to get blown over with the hairdryer anyway. And let's go again with the hairdryer. Not bad, I like this. I like how there's a lot of colour down here and not so much up the top. Adds a bit of dimension. This is really cool. Okay, I'm going to use my finger and I'm going to create a line of flow there. Which is really cool because it picked up the crescendo that's in there. We didn't torch out the bubbles, did we? So now we're going to do that. Really lightly from up high. And then I just do one pass down the middle to create some cells. Now the cells that you get from the creation using a torch compared to what you get with the Floetrol are different. The torch ones are smaller and rounder because you're breaking the surface tension of the paint. The ones created with Floetrol are much more elongated because they're created when the pour is blown out. But over a black base, there is definitely a lot more color shift from these beautiful pastel pigments. So what am I liking? What am I not liking? I'm pretty much loving the whole thing, to be honest. I know that the paints are going to collect in the middle because I didn't spray the canvas first. But like I said, I'm okay with that. It may change the design, it may not. I can already see that things have shifted quite a bit down here. But otherwise, I think it's actually pretty cool. I do like this little bit here, but I want to change it just slightly. Just to curl it around a little bit. There's a tiny bit here I don't like. Just coaxing it into a nicer little swirl. Same as here. Lovely. Alrighty, how are the sides looking? Sides look a little bit bare, so I'm just going to touch those up. But other than that, everything else looks pretty darn good. Alright, let's leave these to see how they dry. I will set up another little spot over here for this one. And adding that Liquitex gloss medium definitely had an effect. It's definitely not as salacious as the first one that we did. So I'll wait till these dry and then I'll come back and show you the finished results. Hello everybody, so the paintings are now dry and I'm going to show you the results. So this is the smaller one that I did, and as I tilt it you can see the colours changing from those brand new pigments. So that's the Flamingle changing from pink to green. We've got lots of Crescendo in that bottom corner causing those lovely purple colour shifts, and this one in the middle is actually Unicorn, making that beautiful deep purple over the black. Plenty of Flamingle up the top here. It just looks so incredible. A little bit of Diox purple in the middle there, and then this lovely light blue here, that's from Pinwheel and Supernova. So those colours look really, really awesome, all working together, all those deep blue shifts. So that's the smaller piece, and this one is the bigger one. I really, really like how this has turned out. So everything is segmented, and we've got that beautiful green in the middle from Flamingle, Unicorn shifting up in the top here, and plenty of Crescendo down here. So this colour here, with that colour shift going into deep purple, that is Crescendo, and it's really impossible to show how gorgeous these are on camera, but we're trying. Look at all of that. That dioxazine purple really stands out in there as well. And you can see here, as I tilt this towards us, that blue is Unicorn. It goes almost invisible over the black, and then when you see that colour shift, you know it's there. Alright guys, that's those two pieces dry. If you like what I'm doing here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!